about manifesting, about ascension, about aligning with divine, about your true creative power. I've said for a long time that we're always manifesting. If we are energy and everything is energy, then our energy around us is a reflection of us. Which means you're going to see what you believe. You're going to have what you think is possible. And you're going to attract what you think you deserve. He's not doing it. Come on, girl. I'm struggling today because the reality of what I just said, when you're living it, it's a lot. It's a massive responsibility. You know, it's the realization that possibly everything that you've been your whole life, it can't come with you if it was not based on love. The polarity of energy for me in the last 2 years has become very clear. It is simply a duality between love and fear. And I've been very clear for a very long while that most of my life was built on fear. Fear that I wasn't enough. Fear that if I didn't hold on to things, they would go away. Fear of people's intentions. I mean, just imagine the kind of life that you create from that, right? And many of us wake up to that. We wake up to this life that we're inhabiting and we say, what the fuck's this? You know? We can feel ourselves pushing, we can feel ourselves forcing, and we begin to get tired. We begin to realize that no matter how much money we make, no matter how much status we have, no matter how many achievements we do, there's still this void inside, right? There's this void inside. And you think you've got to keep filling it from the outside in. Until you wake up and realize that you've got to go into that void. You've got to allow yourself to drown in it. You've got to descend into all those places that have really felt like your darkness, the darkness, and realize all you're being asked to do is to bring them into light. Because that's wholeness, isn't it? Yin, yang, darkness and light. All of these shadow parts of you, what if they're your greatest light? What if they're what makes you uniquely who you can be, living in an aligned way in the life that was always meant for you? Wholeness. That's when the void goes away, right? It's when you start to feel whole, when it doesn't feel like you're lacking anything anymore. But there's been this experience this year for me where the void that was always within me that I began to fill suddenly reflected outside of me, because I'd cleared all these things, right? I'd cleared all these beliefs, I'd cleared all these limiting programs, I'd cleared all this fear, and it's like my whole life went through this uninstalling. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like everything in my external world that was related to the old uninstalled, like a program. This included my marriage, my home, my business, and then still in the fear this year that money was made through effort, I guess. Deep down I still believe that. It's like I'd cleared the superficial programming about money, and I was almost stuck with the deep stuff, the deep collective stuff, the stuff that feels like gravity. You know, really starting to live against the programs. And I struggled against that for a while, right? I still tried. I kept coming up with ideas. This idea, the next idea, all the ideas felt aligned to where I was going, but it's almost like my soul just had a different plan, right? Harry. There's nothing got traction. Nothing really stuck. I'm just gonna swap arms. This dog pulls. Whew. And I guess I've begun to understand that now. How the things that I was doing were still aligned to the old version of me. There was still me trying to create from what I know rather than fully surrendering to divine will. And yeah, like when you become love, when you become the energy of love that truly has no conditions placed on it, life has to rearrange itself around that love, but you got to let that love in. And before you let that love in, you've got to be able to sit in the uncertainty. I mean, I'm talking the most uncertainty you've ever experienced in your whole life, not knowing. Every single attachment to certainty, to security, to stability being taken away, because that is the soul's real test, isn't it? That is the soul's real test. Can you hold the frequency that you've been asking for? Can you hold everything that it attracts to you? You're tested. So when we go into transformation, when we desire change, and then we fight back, right? We fight back against letting go. Ooh, stop, Harry. We fight back against, the things dissolving, relationships dissolving, jobs ending, income streams disappearing. When we fight back, we block the transformation, we block the change. I used to see this all the time in my coaching. People would make massive quantum leaps and suddenly be stood in a reality that looks really different, but it didn't have all the certainty of the last reality, right? And so they fought back. They went back into fear. They hadn't got the personal mastery yet of really learning to thrive in the intensity of not knowing, which is ultimately where now I really feel my soul has been guiding me to lead. It's why I was pulled so violently away from trying to coach people's minds to helping people to come back into their bodies and learn to truly regulate the nervous system so that they don't just know how to relax and exhale and, you know, find peace. They are fucking peace, even in the storm. They are the tree that holds its roots steady in the cyclone that's fucking spinning, destroying, destructing around them, because manifestation is that. It is creation and destruction, two sides of the same fucking coin. You cannot expect to in the sense of creating something new without destroying the old, because you are energy. And that energy is made up from everything that you have experienced and all the beliefs that have been created from that. And then add on to that the gravity, the shit that's kept you standing on the earth, the beliefs that are collective, the programming that we've had from the minute we are born. We need a name, we need an identity. Life looks like this, safety looks like that, security looks like the other. You're successful when you do this, you're a failure when you do that, this happens when you fail. Where in that reality did you have space to remember who the fuck you really are, right? Ask yourself that. In the squeeze from one system to another system, I look at my children now, 5, 9 and 12, and I'm so grateful that I'm going through this shit because I can give them the space to figure out who they are without the pressures, without the expectations, without the attachments. I can do what I can anyway. You know, it's important to me because it's a big thing. Remembering who you are authentically is massive. So yeah, I'm there. Like I said, I'm struggling today. Me and the girls had a massive car accident 2 weeks ago today. And we're lucky to be alive. And I really struggled with the question if everything is rearranging itself around me. Uh-oh. Hang on. Harry, come on. Oh great, we have a live YouTube fight. Come on. Come on, Harry. Come on. All good. You're all good. You're all good. Oh yeah. Come on, you're all good. You're okay. It's just a big hound. Come on. You're okay. It's all good. I know. You're all good. Where was I? I was asking myself, I was torturing myself, let's say, with the question, if life is rearranging itself around me, how would I create a car accident that has left me like fucked physically? My eldest broke her foot. My youngest had a big head injury. And then I realized that there's one thing that I have been resisting, and it is receiving. And it's interesting because in spite of the torture of that question, after the crash I felt this like massive space. I felt really light actually. It was like something had just got sparked out. Like when you put your fingers over a candle and you just spark out the flame and it's gone, right? It's gone. I felt like all of the old me was gone. It's like the crash shook loose the foundations enough for them to finally let go. And here I am now, fully open to receiving, fully open to what's next. I haven't got a clue what that looks like. I've fully let go of trying to control the process. I have let go completely of anything that compromises my values, my peace, and my unconditional love, or my love being unconditional, if that makes sense. And I can finally feel the new coming in. So I'm sharing this because, firstly, if you want change, you got to realize that you are the change. I mean, we know that, right? Be the change. But maybe we don't understand how profound that is. The fact that we are creating everything. We are the creative power. We are God. It is such a responsibility not to do what we do as humans, and that's rush out and try and fix everybody else and fix all the problems that we think we have and all of that shit. It's to go in and truly look at ourselves, right? How am I creating this? What do I believe? Where does that belief come from? Why am I so scared? What am I afraid of? And when you do that work, the next thing is that you are going to have to start working with the laws of the universe, the law of energetic incongruence. Right? You can't have that mismatch. If you change, shit's going to change. And that might, look like what I've experienced, the void. All that uninstalling itself. Because that's another law, physical law of the universe. The law of 0 point. Coming to the place where perhaps you feel like you have nothing, but finally all the quantum possibility of the universe is available to you. It just hasn't formed yet. And the thing is, manifestation isn't perhaps like Neville Goddard taught us, and all of the gurus harp on, we're going to get up in our mind and we're going to see what we want and we're going to feel it and it's going to happen. I mean, yes, that works, but ultimately there's a divine power, a divine will that is bigger than us. That's what I've realized this year. My mission here in this physical vessel as a human, my soul contract lies so far outside of what my mind can comprehend, can imagine, can strategize, can manipulate. And so a big part of transformation is the surrender, right? It's just letting go to being guided. Again, this is something I'm so passionate about when I can help people to thrive in the intensity of the unknown. They can make their own peace and their connection with Source and loving unconditionally their only priority. Because there you truly find, again, what all these gurus are talking about, the flow state. Life starts to happen through you every single day. Every single day is a mystery. You don't know where you're going, you don't know what you're doing. And maybe it's a conversation that you have that changes your life. Maybe it's a conversation you have that changes somebody else's life. Maybe it's a little breadcrumb that gets dropped by the universe that gives you a signal or a sign of, you know, where's the next step to? But the lack of controlling and manipulating and forcing, it is nothing. It is nothing like you could ever imagine until you get here. And what I've realized through my crash is, yeah, like life still happens. It can still bring you to your knees. It can still feel, yeah, traumatizing. But it's how you respond to it, right? Do you see it as something that tried to make you fall, or something that, you know, is there to help you rise? And I know my crash happened to help me rise, to help me finally let go of my block to fully receiving, being fully open, fully letting in my path, fully letting in everything that is to come. Oh my gosh, so many comments. I couldn't see them on the side. Harry's having a sit down. Should we read some? Oh. Hello. Yes, I'm at the beach. I'm at Papamoa Beach. Thank you for the hug. I'd love to hear your comments on this video. What resonates? What your experiences are? Where you feel you need supporting through this journey of ascension, of manifesting, of unlocking your creative power. And I just send you so much love.